Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp as we once again have a look at some of the games coming out for the Switch in this upcoming week. A big thank you to Paradox Interactive for sponsoring this video. We'll be looking at games releasing from the 20th of November up until the 26th to see if there is anything worth picking up this week, and we'll first look at a few games that have released on the Switch without any prior warning or just missed one of these videos for whatever reason. Okay, with all that said, what's coming out this week? Well, let's find out. Let's begin then by looking at a couple of new releases or announcements from the sponsor of today's video, Paradox Interactive, as last week they released Surviving the Aftermath. This sees you needing to build a thriving colony and restore civilization after a cataclysmic event ends the world as we know it. There are more than 130 buildings to construct and you must ensure that your settlement is prepared for anything, be it by defending it from attacking bandits or surviving a natural disaster. You can recruit over 80 unique specialists, each with their own skills and motivations. You will need to leave your colony and explore the procedurally generated world looking to find and trade resources, or even meet with rival leaders of other colonies to give your colony the edge to survive. There will be tough choices to make along the way, the colony's fate depends on your judgment after all, and your specialists may stumble across secrets surrounding the apocalypse itself. Paradox are also releasing the first premium expansion for their gangland strategy game, Empire of Sin, named Make It Count. This expansion introduces new mob boss Maxim Zelnik and his gangsters, the Fixers. Zelnik brings with him new combat abilities including Bolster the Ranks, which allows him to call in 2 reinforcements during combat, and the Persuader boss weapon, a submachine gun that spits bullets faster than Zelnik spits words. His gang, the Fixers, know how to make problems disappear, and the Lone Shark racket will also be introduced. There are 20 new missions, 25 new events, plus 7 new weapons including the Mark 6 revolver, the lighting carbine and the aforementioned Persuader. Alongside this there will also be a free update called the Precinct Update, which will add new management mechanics, win conditions and game improvements. A few more games that are already out then, and the first is Dead Effect 2. This released last week on the 11th and is a first-person sci-fi horror shooter set on a derelict colonisation spaceship. It's a direct sequel to the first Dead Effect game, which isn't available on the Switch, and you play as an elite soldier trying to take back control of the ship from the horde of the undead. It says you can upgrade weapons and train your character due to the light RPG elements included, and it's been out on other systems for a few years now, so perhaps anyone that has played it can leave their general thoughts about it in the comments section. We then have Root, which is a digital board game selling for £15.49. The actual board game itself appears to be very highly regarded, and this digital adaptation follows the same theme with 2 to 4 players battling for control of a vast wilderness. It uses an interesting mix of art styles with hand-drawn characters and elements slotting into a slightly more realistic 3D background, and it's being published by Direwolf Digital, who have brought a few other digital board games to the Switch such as Raiders of the North Sea and Sagrada. Finally, for those that are already out, is Ruined King, a League of Legends story. Developed by Airship Syndicate, who already have a couple of Switch games to their name in Battle Chasers Night War and Darksiders Genesis, this is a turn-based RPG based on the League of Legends universe. You will need to build your own party, combining their unique abilities and making good use of the lane system. Looking at the games coming out this week, and the first one is Death's Door, which is published by Devolver Digital. This is an action-adventure game played from an isometric viewpoint that released on Windows and Xbox consoles back in July of this year, and sees you playing as a small crow who collects souls for a large corporation in the afterlife. Things go awry though when your assigned soul is stolen and you must chase the thief into another realm. You'll be tracking down and defeating colossal tyrants according to the blurb, and uncovering the truth behind the flow of souls in a dark tale with a hint of comedy. This appears to have scored very well on those other platforms with Metacritic scores in the mid-80s, and as we've seen over the years, Devolver Digital really do seem to have a knack for picking incredibly good games to publish. This one will sell for £17.99 and it releases on the 23rd. Next game is My Universe Puppies and Kittens. This is a Nintendo-esque experience by the looks of it, where you are able to adopt a puppy, a kitten or both, and then look after them, take them for walks, feed them, all that caper. Now there are a fair few of these My Universe games on the Switch, and whilst I know they do look like the ultimate in shovelware, my daughter has a couple of them, school teacher and something else, fashion designer I think, and whilst they're nothing spectacular, they're not too bad if you keep your expectations in check and remember the target audience they are aimed at. Anyway, this one releases on the 23rd. Next is Deeeer Simulator, Deeer being spelt with a bunch of E's and with a tagline of your average everyday deer game. Very catchy, I'm sure. This sees you playing as that average everyday deer, where you must use your stretchy neck, your stabby horns and anything else a deer has in its arsenal to tear through the city. The blurb goes on to say that if you get up to naughtiness, then you'll have to face off against the extra tough animal police. Oh, and there are also Kung Fu master sheep, bears who transform into police cars, and rabbits with ridiculously overdeveloped ears out to get you. I don't even know what to say about that. It looks absolutely crazy as you go about wrecking the place, and I do like the low poly art style. It'll cost you £15.09 and it's out on the 24th. Then we have Drizzlepath Deja Vu, which is a reimagining of the developer's first game Drizzlepath and is published by East Asia Soft. You play as a nameless man climbing towards a mountaintop in search of answers, and the events you witness will gradually add to the larger existential narrative, so says the blurb. It's a walking simulator played from a first person perspective, and there are secrets to find through your journey. It's going to cost £6.29 or your regional equivalent. You have Shiro next, which is an adventure platformer where you play as Shiro, who is looking for her twin sister. You must navigate environments such as dense forests, ancient temples and dangerous dungeons on your journey, and it promises over 25 levels and a good balance between platforming and combat. This was only showing on the North American stores at the time of writing, but if it's releasing elsewhere, then the prices would have been at the bottom of your screen. Coming on the 25th is Asterix and Obelix Slap Them All. This is the third week in a row now that Microids have released a game based on characters with Franco-Belgian comic roots, after the Smurfs and then last week's Marsupilami. This is the fourth Asterix and Obelix game on the Switch after the Double XL trilogy, although this particular game appears to be a beat 'em up with a very appealing hand-drawn art style. You can play cooperatively in local multiplayer as you take on thousands of Romans, and there are both adventure modes and an arcade mode to play through. The adventure mode is based on Asterix and Obelix albums, as well as an exclusive chapter made specifically for the game. My interest in this game increased tenfold upon learning it was a beat 'em up, I must say, as the XXL games, which were 3D platformers, were just a bit too clunky for my liking these days. The price is pretty high at £34.99, but it might be one to keep half an eye on.
We're going to have fun!
Let's clear the air!
There's more where that came from!
Onwards!
And finally for the week then we have Real Boxing 2, developed by Cubic Games and releasing on the 26th. We really do need a Real Boxing game on the Switch, and whether Real Boxing 2 is just that in name or it can fill that gap remains to be seen. I guess we'll find out. You play as a newbie boxer and can choose your style of boxing, adjusting stats and unlocking new abilities as you customise your character to your liking. It says you take on unique characters such as a clown and Santa Claus, so perhaps it's not quite as real as it had alluded to, but the trailer looks okay if a little rough around the edges. Other than this game, the only other boxing alternatives I can think of are Big Rumble Boxing, which is based on the Rocky and the Creed series, which is actually a pretty decent game, and the boxing event in the recent 2020 Tokyo Olympics game, which again was quite fun. Anyway, as I said, this one comes out on the 26th. So there you have it, another week of Nintendo Switch releases. I think it's fair to say this is a pretty quiet week. But with that said, is there anything that interests you? Please do let us know in the comment section below. Another big thank you to Paradox Interactive for sponsoring this video. Please do check out the link to their game Surviving the Aftermath in the top pinned comment. Another quick reminder that if you need eShop credit, then you can use our website and get eShop cards from there. You can currently get them for 5% off the asking price. Saves you a few pennies, it's always nice, and obviously helps the channel out at the same time. And we are hoping that this will extend into the North American region soon. A quick thank you to our Patreons as always for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.